Hello everyone. So here is Bhumika Trust with one of its interview series that we have just launched it very soon. So for the today, for the topic that we have launched this series on disability and its challenges. So here we have our first guest over there. So hi Sanya.
Hey Jayantaya.
So how are you? All good?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, Bhaiya. What about you?
I'm good also. So for the viewers, can you tell something about yourself, something about your family?
Sure. So I'm Sanya Gandhi, and I actually hail from the district of Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh, and we live in a family with 13 members, and it's a joint family. So it's actually fun till now. But yeah, this pandemic has a lot of things to offer, but then staying safe and keeping positive is the key. So I actually changed my school two times. Till grade 8, I was studying in a co-ed school, that is Parivartan Raising a Different League. Then after that, I shifted to an all-girls school from 9th to 12th, that is Uttam School for Girls. And now I'm pursuing BA Honours in Political Science from Hindu College, Delhi University.
That's really, really great, Sanya. Can I know, if you don't mind telling that, so what's your aim in life, or what do you want to achieve? What do you want to become? What's your aim or goal of your life?
Thank you so much for this question. Okay, so actually, right now, as in my aim is actually to become an IAS officer by making sure that, and especially serving the districts of Haryana and, the states of Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, and covering specifically those the states, wherein, districts of Ghaziabad and Sirsa would be the key focus.
Okay, so that's really, really great. To know, people like you have so much of very good dream that you have seen, or a very a bright future that you're looking for ahead. So let's move on to the topic now. So according to your view, what is disability exactly, or what do you think, what is your perception? So what is disability, or what type of disability, if you have any? So what is that?
So, okay. So, according to me, disability is all about, I think, because we all say that disabilities are problematic, or disabilities is something which have, something to interfere with our life. But according to me, and according to all those who are basically, say, excelling with disabilities, the main focus would be to eliminate that disability from our personal lives. In sense, I mean, for me, disability is just another challenge which is there in each and every person's life. But disability is also about making sure that you accept your challenge and move accordingly the way each and every one is moving with their own challenges and problems. That is.
Okay, so what are you suffering, or do you have any kind of disability you are going through?
Yes, I'm actually a person with 100% blindness, and that is the case of optic nerve atrophy.
Okay. So it's great to know that being a person with disability, and a person with blindness, you're still having a dream to become an IAS officer. So that's very a huge dream that you have in your life, to become something very, and to go in that such a position where you can do a lot of things for persons with disabilities, or in another sector if you want to do. So my next question to you would be that, what do you think, what exactly the persons, we say the persons with disability and without disability, so what difference do you think is there? What is the gap, or what is the bridge that we need to create between the persons with disability and without disability?
Sure. Thank you so much for such a great question, Jayanpriya. Okay, I think there are two key plans to it. Firstly, it's connected to inability and freedom, number one, because I think people assume that if you have an inability to do something, then it's actually connected to your freedom. So I think to some extent, in the Indian society, this is actually correct that, okay, suppose let's say, for example, if say I'm a person with blindness, okay, and I wish to read a book. I wish to read a book. So I think in that regard, we should make sure that I'm actually reading a book, if not by my eyes, but by my other sources, like for example, I can use a laptop to access it, or I can actually use a lot of different tools to access my book. But then if we're saying that a person with blindness cannot read at all, then I think that's an excuse, because this is not at all connected to our freedom to read and our freedom to make friends. If we're saying that a person with blindness cannot make friends, or a person with blindness is, someone who's actually segregated all the time. So I think that would not be a great thing to normalize everything, because there is nothing abnormal or normal in that regard. So I think the main emphasis should be to search for alternatives to fill up that gap between persons with and without disabilities. That how can people with disabilities be accommodated so that all the resources, if they want to make any friend, if they even want to approach to even a single person whom they actually feel comfortable, they should be able to approach. That has to be the approach, that we need to find out alternatives.
So that's very insightful and a very depth answer that you have given in very short words, very limited words. So I would like to go for the next question. So my next question would be like the gap that you told is there in persons with disabilities or without disabilities. We need to bridge the gap in that. So can you do you know or any solutions that you can provide, or you can would like to put the points in front of the person without disabilities or with disabilities, or as whole in front of the society? Like, what are the solutions or what are the suggestions that you can give, or what are the alternatives that you were talking about in your words? So I want to know that.
Thank you so much for this question, Bhaiya. So, okay, I think the most important thing to understand over here is that persons with disabilities and persons without disabilities, they're not at all segregated. Basically, the society has this tendency to segregate people on the basis of their color, caste, gender, race, ethnicity. So, and disability is not an exception nowadays. That a lot of people with disabilities are doing greatly only because life has been fair throughout. Maybe we can say put it that way. Or secondly, one more main thing could be that they have tried their level best to accommodate fully into the society. Maybe that is the reason why persons with disabilities today are able to study in a very, very good institution, because life, see, I actually would like to emphasize this fact that life offers a lot of opportunities to each and every person on this planet and each and every one. But then now it's actually a two-way process. Like, if for example, if I'm saying that I'm a person without a disability, so I'll be getting all the advantages. So no, I think that's not the other thing. Even if like, there are a lot of persons with disabilities and persons without disabilities who lack motivation to do a lot of things. So I think here it's a two-way process, that persons with disabilities also have to take the lead. They have to push themselves that, okay, we are not actually less, we have to do it, because only then will it actually be an inclusive India. Because right now what we are looking at is an approach wherein only persons without disabilities have to work hard, only they have to do the entire thing. And persons with disabilities, even today, they are into spoon feedings. I'm really, this is really heartening. This is really disheartening to say that even today, persons with disabilities they're not at all hesitating to spoon feed, even if it's about friendship, even if it's about their professional life, even if it's about their personal life, their academic life, everything. So now persons with disabilities, basically, firstly, they have to stop thinking that they have a disability. Maybe only then we can actually bridge this gap, because only then people will work hard, only then people will be attracted towards persons with disabilities. So I think that is the main thing.
Okay, Sanya. So very very insightful and very good answer that you have given. So any message that you have that you would like to give to the persons with disabilities or without disabilities, like on this ground, like what is disability, what they need to understand, and what needs to be done? A very short message that you would like to give.
Okay. So I think disabilities are all about basically, if we say that we have a disability, so it should just be a matter of fact. For example, let's say that a person with blindness enters a college. Okay. So ideally, that person should introduce themselves by saying that, well, it's just a matter of fact that I'm a person with blindness. Instead of using the vocabulary that I'm a 100% blind student. What does this indicate? The second vocabulary indicates that a person is suffering, right? But the reality is that life offers a lot of opportunities to each and every person. So if we actually show ourselves that okay, we are suffering, we are blind, we have this, we have that. So I think the society will also view us in that ways. I mean, we have to create our own self-image. Only then society will create our own self-image, whether it's a disability or not. So I mean, it's not at all a matter of fact. Oh, like achievements and your success and your happiness is not at all dependent on these factors. So yes, this is the
So a very short, like very good message that you've given. So very short. Next question is mine. Like what do you think? Is it this statement is true that disability is not exactly of any type of disability? It's basically, but what should I say? A mental statement or a condition of a mind where the person thinks that the another person is like less capable. I would not to say that it's not capable or no capable. I would like to say less capable than me or anyone else. So what's your point on that? Like, or it's a basically a mental, what should I say, a mindset of the society or the people there, the persons without disabilities, that they think that the persons with disabilities are those people, they cannot do anything or nothing they can do, and they are not worth of anything. So what do you want to give them a message?
Thank you so much for such a great question, Priya. So I think over here we need to look at two things. First of all, that disability. See, I think there are two things that see. Okay, so if we compare it with the farmers' protests, which actually were taking place, let's say on the 26th of January,
Hmm.
people were standing with them, people were supporting them only because farmers were willing to make an effort. I think this factor of considering people with disabilities as different can only be mitigated if these special schools stop existing in our country. Maybe
Okay.
this is the key factor that special schools exist in our country. So I think they have to be mitigated. Only then this can happen.
So in that case, I have a question, like a counter question. If you say that the special school needs to be stopped, and you mean to say there needs to be more inclusive schools. So in that case, what will happen for those persons with disabilities who are suffering from like those what should I say, a really that disease which needs of lots of care and attention towards themselves, like a person with mental retardation or anything, any disability in that regard, which needs a special care or a special attention. So, what in that case you want to say?
Sure. I think this is actually a really wonderful question to raise. So I think in this regard, we should actually, make accommodations. We have to, yeah. So like the other day when we were discussing this in a sensitization workshop, so we got to know that there are, like, see, the American Educational Disabilities Act idea. It clearly states that we have to make accommodations because no one is different, but then it can only happen in an actually ideal society. But for physical disabilities like cerebral palsy, blindness, deafness, speech impairments, I think for them, first of all, the need of the hour is to stop special schools for these physical disabilities because actually people, I would actually, a research states that people with physical disabilities too are actually placed in a special school. We all know this. So because of this, what happens is that their say self development, their inclusive state, and even their harmony is lost. They start patronizing, they start communitarianizing, and even they start creating their own communities of friendships. So this can actually lead to abnormalities. So I think that has to be countered in the first.
Okay. Very rightly said, Sanya. So, my next question is a bit like uh, very easy and very short. Like, in that regard, you said about the schools need to be stopped, the special schools. So what do you need to like say, like the inclusively schools needs to be, or the schools which are there already there, so they needs to be made inclusive. And what the thing that you expect from the society or the persons with disability, without disabilities rather, sorry for that. Yeah, so without the disabilities, what do you expect from them, like in return? Like do you want sympathy from them or like empathy from them, or what kind of like model you are looking for, like in the coming future, if you say that?
Sure. So I think over this, in this regard, the social model would be the one which will actually pave the way for persons with and without disabilities. Say, for example, if I'm a person with a disability and I approach a friend who is without a disability, so that friend should actually not, assume that maybe she needs help or maybe she needs some sympathies, because it's all about a space wherein each and every person can excel. Basically, frankly, what happens is like blind people feel insecure. See, persons with blindness feel insecure when persons without disabilities always want to offer help. This is actually a matter of fact, and I'm telling this from my experience that persons with blindness feel insecure when people without disabilities are always in a hurry to offer help. So I think that approach has to be countered. That people with disabilities are not here to seek your help; they are just here to talk to you and to chat with you and to make new connections. So I think that has to be inculcated.
Very, very, very good answer, like Sanya, I should say. So my next question is that, like, what what the thing that you see, like what is lacking in India, if you talk about, not globally I'm talking about, or some at international thing, that what can be done for the persons with disabilities can be done, or like what is lacking in India, like is the rules are not enough, the laws are not enough, or like implementation is not being done properly, or what thing is lacking that you think which needs to be improved in the coming future?
Thank you so much, Freya, for this question. Okay, so I feel the most important thing is this, casual attitude of India, like casual attitude of the people of India, that sab chalta hai. I think this has to be counted first of all, because even a layman person, a person without a disability, or a person who is not at all considerate about his or her career, for example, would say that I sab chalta hai, assignment copy karwa lo. I think this has to be first of all counted, because even if we're not, if actually we are not serious about our, basic things, so how can it actually, impact our, so like we have to just, think in this regard that how will it actually lead to inclusion if we are so much casual about our basic lives. So I think this casuality has to be counted first of all. Only then we can actually, implement new things and can actually rework our policies in that regard.
So you think that attitudinal barrier is the first barrier that needs to be broken off, right? So moving ahead, like I have a question, very, very, what things that in personally or in particular that the person, being a person with blindness, as you said, so what are the challenges or issues, that what kind of issues that you face, like in a not in a special or pandemic time I'm talking about, I'm talking in general or a normal way life that we used to live.
Sure. Thank you so much for this question. So I think, persons with blindness, or say persons with disabilities for that matter, they have a very, very hard time to prove themselves, I would say. Say, for example, if a school wants to give admission to a person with a disability, first of all, you have to prove too much. Yeah, I think that is actually a very, very main thing. That, and even if I'm interacting with my peers, for example, if my peers have met me for the first time, so I think then we'll have a very, very hard time proving ourselves that okay, no, we're not those kind of people who are actually here to gain sympathy, but we are here to form good connections with you, and we are here to chat with you, and we are only here to interact with you and to be friends with you. And that gap has to be filled, and we all everyone tries their best. Those who have studied in an inclusive school will try their best to fill this gap. But then there is this need of the hour wherein more people and each and every person has to become vocal. I think that will actually lead to like bridge this gap, and especially persons with blindness who are not vocal, they'll face challenges. So I think I was vocal, so maybe because of that challenges were quite a bit less. But yeah, like being vocal is the key. So vocal variety of your speaking communication skills. So that has to be built here.
Very good, like Sana. So uh, any things with the any special issues or special challenges that you faced in this special time of pandemic, if we talk about, if we talk about in the last pandemic, this is the second wave that we are talking about, basically. So this is the second wave going on. So what are the issues, that the challenges, or what do you think the persons with disabilities or persons with blindness in particular, your disability, as you know, so what they were challenges that they had faced or they were facing or they are facing or they will be facing in the coming future after the post, what should I say, the post pandemic. So in that regard, like what the challenges and the issues, if you want to tell, or problems, or and what can be the alternatives or solutions or suggestions, if you want to give anything for that.
Sure. Thank you so much for such a great question here. So I think the most important thing to analyze is over here that yes, so there have been times in this pandemic when we feel we do feel like a bit insecure or say that feelings of inadequacies, they are really frequent to come. And especially it was a bit challenging for me because new college life was like it's a virtual college environment, everything totally new, everything we have to be always we always have to be on our toes to prove the entire world that okay, no, we are also one and we are also normal, so that has to be done. But then it's really important to understand that proving all the time won't actually help. So the best way would be to be neutral in this regard and to have those right people with whom we can actually interact, the right circle of friends, say 4 or 5 friends you have, chat with them, talk to them, interact with them. So I think that can actually lead to a healthy mental balance in this regard. So friend circle, social support, and making your targets daily, achieving them, and staying happy, staying motivated, eating right, and spending time with your family. So I think this is the entire thing.
So very rightly said, Sanya. So let's move to the towards like almost it's the end of this interview. So my next question is a bit like it could be a tricky question or like a painful question to you. My question is that like being a person with disability, what do you think? Like would the life be more enjoyable being a person without disability, or you think like now as of now you're a person with disability, so are you being a proud to being a person with disability, or you would be rather being a person without disability, you would be more happy in your life or you would be proud of that life? So what do you want to say in that regard?
So thank you so much for this question. So I think personally, to be very frank, I think blindness has actually completely changed me as a person. Because if I actually reflect back, so I was such a proudy person, like say 6 to 7 years back. I didn't pay any heed to each and every person, around. But then I think blindness. I mean, as I, became aware of my disability, as I became aware of everything in these surroundings and the environment and about the inequalities. I think that actually helped me, to gain my senses. Actually, as I think blindness actually shaped me as a person because if I imagine myself being a person without a disability, then I feel I would be depressed. To be very frank, yeah, then I would have been depressed because I'm constantly into that comparison. So I think being a person with blindness, I think it's really easy to be a person, and I think I'm really happy to be a person with blindness because therein we can actually focus on a like on a vision, and therein like fights are very less because we can actually I will say like that perceptive ability increases. We can actually identify who our friends are and who are indifferent. So I think that is the plus point that being being a person with blindness actually helped. So in that regard.
So very good thing that you have like mentioned, that you said like your life being after being a person with disability is like more good, better than, is better, and not say good, it's better than the life that you have been being a person without disability, if you talk. So any message as you want to give at the end, because this is the last thing that you would be saying. So any message for the society as a whole, if you want to just say just few words.
So okay. So I think alone we can do so little, but together we can do a lot of things, and we can actually achieve a lot of things by making sure that we are not patronizing and we're not communitarianizing. For example, like if we just have to make sure that we are treating everyone the way they are. So just that's it.
So very thanks, Hannah, for giving your like very insightful answers for the interview. And I hope I asked you those difficult questions also, but you very rightly and very confidently answered those questions that the people are not able to answer. if I talk about the person without disability also, so it's very great to have you there in the interview, and for that you just took out your precious time, because everyone's time, a single second is also precious for everyone. So thank you for giving your time, and I would like to thank all the viewers, like just to listening to the interview. I hope the society will bring a change, as you have already heard Sanya, what Sanya says. So regarding the disability and its challenges and the solutions that, or the suggestions that she's given. So I hope the society will accept the persons with disability or the disability as a whole in the society, and the person with disability in the coming future will be able to live a dignityful or very a proudful life in the coming future. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, viewers, and thank you, Sanya, once again.